All right, everybody. Okay, everybody gather around. I'm going to tell you a ghost story. I work in a business section area where there is literally no neighborhoods around. And to get to any of the neighborhoods, you would have to go over creeks and through woods and several businesses. There aren't any neighborhoods in this area at all. So I'm in a very specific location where there's just businesses. And I was going to work like any other day, except this day was Halloween. I parked like I always do. I got out and I walked to the building. And I did my ritual look around everywhere before I opened the door. And I turn and I see something black in the middle of the road. I just drove on this road. And I thought to myself, is that a bag of trash or something? Is that a cat? And as I'm walking towards it, I can confirm it is indeed a cat. He was conscious, but it seemed like his back half of his body was not working. His head was looking around, his meows were conscious, his eyes were conscious, everything seemed to be fine, but he was propping himself up on his two front legs, and I immediately grabbed him and took him out of the road to the front of my building, where my boss was just kind of looking at me through the windows like, uh-oh. So I laid Ghost on the sidewalk, and he continued to meow and look around, but no body movement in the back half. I was in a bad spot, seeing as how I just got to work, and I honestly don't care about a job over a living creature. I don't fully remember the conversation about what to do with him that I had with my boss, but I think it was suggested to put him in the wooded area in the back of the building so that I could have him in an area and make some phone calls. So I put him in a small spot where he somewhat was safe, there wasn't anything around, and if he was not able to move, at least I knew he was there. So I started calling as many places as I could. Mostly everything was closed until 10 or 11 a.m. And that's insane. It was around 8:30 to 9. I was extremely frustrated at the entire situation. And when life does that, I get pretty pissed off. I went back into work. I guess I'll just go work, and wait to give these people a call. A coworker had mentioned that he had seen the cat and he got to work before me. This is what the Christian remarks are in the video. This guy claims to be a Christian and wants to be a minister, yet he left a kitten there to die, which is just crazy. Like, come on. But in this moment, he said, why don't you take him to the animal hospital and leave him with them? And I was like, you'd let me do that? And he said, if you're not going to be able to focus on work properly all day, I'd rather you do that for an hour than not be able to work for the rest of the time. Yes, I took advantage of that and immediately jumped in the car. On the way there, I called my mom, told her the situation, and I might have asked her this, but I'm not sure. But I might have asked if I could leave him with her. But I got to the hospital and I couldn't waste any time, so I just went in. They took him in, and they took him in the back, and they did some basic tests. They said, give us like 20 minutes. They x-rayed him, did a quick checkup, told me the x-ray brought up no fractures. He was seemingly fine, no fleas, but a very, very low and cold temperature. And I asked, why is he walking weird? And they kind of just said, we don't know. They didn't really have an answer. Their answer was mostly like, we'll only know if we do a bunch of expensive tests. And I'm like, I can't do that. I'm just trying to find a place for this cat where he'll be taken care of. I asked what they could do for him, and they said they don't take strays. If it's your pet, we'll help him. If it's not, we won't help. And I'm pretty sure I blurted out, so you're just going to let this cat die and you call yourself a hospital? Which I think all the staff gave me like a crazy look, because I wasn't having it. I think they mentioned something about me paying like $2,000 for the visit if it was my pet and doing all these checks and stuff. And I was like, I don't have that kind of money. I confirmed by questioning they truly did not care about this cat. They just wanted to burn holes in my wallet. They gave him back, gave me a blanket, and a sheet of paper with a bunch of numbers to call. So I left, highly frustrated. I called my mom again, and I just wanted to ask a simple question. Can I leave this cat on your back porch and you call these places so that I can get him help? Because I can't. Quick side note, she's retired, so it's not like she couldn't do that. Immediately, I was hit with runaround answers. Like, money. And I was like, the third time I asked, it was the same thing. It was not a yes or no. And as kind-hearted as all of you are calling me in the comments of the first video, I am human, and I snapped. I full-on snapped, full of rage and screaming at the top of my lungs, ruining my vocal cords. I ranted that I just wanted to save this cat, and everyone around me was preventing me from doing so. I have no idea what I even said to her, but I was extremely mad and very full of rage as I screamed, because I just wanted this cat to be taken care of. And in this specific moment, I had such tunnel vision that I just wanted him to be okay. And it seemed like everyone and everything was against this mission. So after I blew up, she just replied, okay, you can bring him here. My only other option was to leave him in my bathroom unsupervised, and that isn't great. I did think because his legs weren't working too good that I could have left him in my backyard, but the hurricanes kind of destroyed my backyard, and I don't really have fencing right now, even currently, so I was like, scratch that idea. When I got to my mom's house, I put him in a small box in his blanket on the porch and was telling her to call these people so that someone comes and saves him. She just said, if I call any of these people, they're just going to put him down or worse. A little side note is that while he was on the porch, he was meowing and another cat was coming through the woods, and I was like, Mom, we can't leave him out here because this cat hears this kitten screaming and either wants to help or wants to hurt it, and I don't want to take either chance. So we brought him back inside. Now I want to say something right here. I think this is why I was truly blessed with ghosts. When I found animals in the past who needed help, my first thought was, I want to save this little guy so that I can keep them. I recently tried to save a small bird who was abandoned. His death honestly devastated me for a while. With ghosts, though, I never considered keeping him, not even once. But on the porch when my mom said that, it all hit me. Even at this moment, I was not thinking about keeping him forever. I just said out loud, kind of half crying, well, I guess the least I can do for this little guy is be there for him in his last days. If no one is going to help him, then I guess I can just be there and show him love if he's dying. So I just went back to work, spent the entire day worrying about this little kitten. When I got off work and went straight to my mom's house, she said he was purring the entire time and being super loving and calm. She said he was just a little ball of love. So I took him home, and this is basically when all the filming started, and this is where most of people jumped in and seen that I'm saving a cat on the last video. I was analyzing his legs, watching him, helping him get around, feeding him with the food people gifted me. Some other family members passed off fancy feasts and litter. So the first night I had made him a makeshift bed and let him sleep in the bathroom overnight. The second day is when I came back thinking he was dead, because with my luck in rehabbing animals, it's always been high risk, and to be honest, I have a little bit of PTSD from it, because a majority of them are unsuccessful, but Ghost was fine. That night, I was about to leave him in the bathroom again for the second night, but I was like, whatever, dude, you can sleep in my bed with me. It felt slightly strange because I thought, when I date a girl, I never sleep with them for like over 4 months because, in my opinion, it's kind of gross. But for ghosts, I just said, hey man, you can sleep in my bed. I know it's the second night I know you, but I'm not going to leave you in my bathroom. I'm not even kidding you. This little guy was stretching his paws out, placing them onto my face, staring into my soul all night. He just had this look of pure gratitude. I've never seen an animal, or in this case a cat, be so thankful for its situation. I think Ghost is special. I'm not sure where he came from. All I know is I can guess. When I drove to work, I never saw anything in the road. I would have noticed. He literally beamed down from space and made me think that I ran over him. When I originally grabbed Ghost out of the woods to go to the vet, a man was outside smoking and he said, "Is that cat that's been around here?" So it's so crazy to me how many people knew of Ghost, yet left him. He was clearly in need of help. It wasn't like a stray kitten who was running all around being just fine. He could barely walk or move and was damn near starving. Strays just don't let you walk up to him like that. I think Ghost was at the end of his rope and he decided to go towards humans even though he might have seen us as threats. His last choice was to risk it all and approach these monsters. I'm just glad he came to me, because in my experience during that day, nobody cares to save an animal. I felt like I'm the only person on this planet who would do this. All I can do is assume where he came from. A lot of people say this particular area is a dumping ground for people dropping off animals. So one theory is that he came from a litter from some breeder or something, and they saw he was a runt with issues and just threw him to the wolves. It's also quite possible that he was just from a stray bunch and got separated from his pack. No one knows but Ghost. So this is Ghost's origin stories. All of this taking place on Halloween Day. This is why I named him Ghost. If he turned out to be a girl, her name would have been Eve for All Hallows Eve. But this little guy got some big old balls already, so he's definitely a little boy. It's crazy that the YouTube algorithm picked this up and exploded it like it has. I've been doing YouTube for forever. I'm not a YouTuber by any means. I just make content, and primarily it's juggling content. So with that being said, I want to add this. All of the recent subscribers, I'm truly grateful, but please know that this channel and what I do as an artist is primarily juggling and skill toys. It's been a passion since I was a child. I own and run my own toy company. This is my dream, regardless if the company takes off or not. I make toys because I love to do it. I've also taken the risky route where I'm not regurgitating the same toys every other company does to turn a profit. I invent new toys to juggle because that is just my craft. I want to play with new things, and I like inventing new things, and I want to make new toys for the world. All the people who have donated to the Ghost video with super thanks and such, I really appreciate it. The thing is I have no idea if I'm even receiving these things. It doesn't show me or say that I even get them, but I appreciate everyone who's donated. And for those of you who went to my Venmo, I super appreciate that because that is just a direct deposit in my bank account. YouTube takes a big cut from these things. I'm not asking for donations. But if anyone wants to donate, I think Venmo is probably the best option because there's no charges taken away from me. If you send $10, I get $10. Receiving money and me not giving anything back seems strange. I want to live an honest life and be honest. I think if you truly wanted to support Ghost and me at the same time, if you ordered a toy from my toy company, that would be the best way to help me. That way you're buying something from me, supporting my business, and I get to mail you something, and then I won't feel so bad about that. If you have kids, I'm pretty sure they would love some of my toys. If they don't juggle, I have fidgets. And if you don't have kids, I also have necklaces as well. They double as juggling toys. Like Halo toy is a necklace, but it's also a toy. So it can be jewelry or a juggling toy. I appreciate all the positive feedback from this situation. I honestly do. You all say it is awesome to see somebody have a heart and take action to save a defenseless animal in need. I'm very grateful for all of your kind words. I try to be honest and truthful at all costs, and most of the time it gets me in trouble. But I'm not perfect by any means. I recognize some of the negative comments as well. Although I won't try to give you much attention, I do hear you. I suffer from depression and I totally get it. I get your mean comments, but you gotta realize no one's gonna take you seriously or listen to you when you just throw insults. I want to take this time at the end of this video to shout out everybody who's donated up until this point. The last thing is I have no idea what I would even do with it, but my channel does have memberships, so that's another thing that you could support me through as well. But again, buying a toy from my toy store would mean the world to me. Thanks for thanking me for saving Ghost, but Ghost, in all honesty, has saved me more than I saved him. I love this little guy with all my being. I fell in love with him the second day. He's been nothing but a ball of joy. He purrs all the time. He's always happy. I think he's very grateful that I saved him. I think he reached out to me, and a lot of you are saying this. I'm not really saying this, that he picked the right person. And I guess in this situation he did, but I feel like he picked the only person in a 15-mile radius who cared enough to take a cat in and care for it. So I think I'm just babbling at this point. If you've listened to this far, you're awesome for listening. Thank you so much. And again, if you toughed it out to the end of this, I really appreciate it. If you want to support me, grab a toy from my toy company. It's playexcess.com. PLAYEXCESS.com. It's on Etsy. And all donations through Venmo and Super Thanks and all that, I'm going to be using that towards his vet bills, because I'm already pretty underwater with his bills, because I didn't realize how much those can rack up. I think I've racked up like $2,000 on Ghost just from vet bills, which is crazy. I don't know how to end this video, but thank all of you. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for subscribing. If I post juggling videos, please don't unsubscribe, because that's what I do. That's my channel. For every 5 or 10 juggling videos, there will definitely be 1 or 2 Ghost videos. Please suggest things that I could do for content. Again, I'm not like a YouTuber. I'm in the sticky situation where I don't have a bunch of money and my computer's having issues and stuff. Just making this video is very difficult with my current computer. It's like overheating, but I'll try to get some stuff done. Thanks everyone for just leaving kind comments. It's nice, you know. I don't get that all the time, and I'm going through a rough spot this week as his video blew up, and so everyone's comments are very, very kind. So with that all being said, go play, 'cause life's too short.